Coffee Pot Conversations.
Okay, go on then. Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name's Paul. Coffee Pot Conversations, hosted by An Englishman in Paris, and today I am with...
Nevin, who is your co-host for the day.
And today we are at Caffè Culture Expo in the Business Design Centre, Islington in London. That's right, episode 2.7 is coming directly to you from Caffè Culture Expo in Islington Business Design Centre. Not all of it, because I'm now at home recording this little part, but we did, myself and Nev, 4 interviews with 4 different companies. It was exciting, exhilarating, enthralling, and obviously nerve-wracking for me because I've never really done this type of thing before. But we ran round, we had a quick recce to see who we wanted to talk to, and we picked 4 people. I'll briefly give you a guide as to who they are just before putting those interviews through. But before we do all of that, we know what's coming next. Yep, it's the news. So because the episode is a little bit longer than the previous 2, which I think was quite nice timings, around about the 30-35 minute mark, this one's already, I think, lined up with about 40 minutes worth of interviews, so I'll keep the news brief. Okay, first of all, let's talk about Michel Barnier, the 73-year-old Prime Minister, who was given a role by President Macron. He said at one point, the President presides, the government governs. Now, he's talking about a tax hike for the wealthy and strict policies on immigration. We shall hold that there because that's politics. Moving on, I told you it would be quick. If we're talking about speed, the périphérique around Paris, that big long ring road, the Parisian version of London's M25, but a little bit more class and panache. The speed limit around there is 70 kilometres per hour. It's going to be reduced to 50 kilometres per hour in a hope to ease traffic congestion and obviously pollution. As we're aware, Socialist Mayor Anne Hidalgo, as part of Anne's plan, wants to pretty much strangle Parisian driving network, which I understand it's the way forward because we all need to move on to bicycles and public transport. The infrastructure sort of is there for Paris. The speeds at the moment, if you can drive around Paris, is reducing from 50 kilometres per hour down to 30 kilometres per hour. So as us Londoners are aware, 30 down to 20 is plenty. One thing I did notice that I thought was a little bit funny was I watched an interview on Paris 24 website, and they were talking to the drivers and the riders around the périphérique as well as within Paris, asking them what they thought. And it was intriguing and interesting to watch, but they're holding up traffic doing these interviews. That's not going to help. Rachida Dati, the mayor of the 7th arrondissement, not only did she defect from the right wing, Les Républicains, to join Macron's government, she is going to be, apparently, according to him rather than her, but then she sort of probably will be doing it, is going to stand for the Paris mayor in 2026 when elections open. I'll wait to see how that one pans out as well. And talking of panning, Lucas Bravo, the chef Gabriel in Emily in Paris, has been panned for his long hair. Not necessarily the fact that it's long, but it's sort of in between stages. And according to him, he wanted to have long hair right from the beginning, and he's slowly managed to get that transition in. And he's growing not only his hair, but he's also had a little bit of facial hair, which isn't in Emily in Paris yet. And this is because he's been filming for HBO in Dangerous Liaisons, or Dangerous Liaisons, which is going to be coming out at some point in the near future. I look forward to that. Yeah, actually, I think I do. I look forward to that. And whilst on the topic of Paris, because, well, we're talking about Paris Fashion Week's just finished. A couple of big things that you're going to notice during the autumn-winter is scarf coats. So they're long coats with scarves built into the sort of collar that you just wrap around and throw around yourself. What else are we going to see? We're going to see double denim. And it's not just the blue denim, but it could be any colour of denim, any mix and match style of denim that you wish to. But it won't be leopard print, no, because leopard print is something else. Although leopard print denim would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? There we go. You heard it here first. Leopard print burgundy denim. How about that then? Burgundy leopard print denim. No, it's just me. But you're looking for burgundy as well as the leopard print. You're also looking for double denim and the scarf coats. On top of that, we're looking as well at knee-high boots. But not just knee-high boots, they've got to be the over-exaggerated knee-high boots, which are going to sort of be very reminiscent of anything that the musketeers would have worn. Along with those musketeer boots are the boho blouses. So these are loose-fitting, oversized blouses. This is all for women. What's going on here? Even the business pinstripes that we're going to see, generally they're for women. I didn't pay too much attention to the men in Paris Fashion Week because, well, just pop to Zara Job done. Not endorsed by Zara, incidentally, but they do have a nice little range. And for my visit, hopefully in November, all to do with the EES, another episode, maybe I will venture into the world of Paris fashion. Who knows? I probably won't. I'll just end up going to CNA opposite Galeries Lafayette and maybe buy myself. I probably won't buy anything, actually. And that's because I bought a lot of new clothes for my trip to the Olympics. I bought a load of tops and a couple of overshirts. Rory, that's right, I said overshirts. So that's pretty much it for the news, except two things I'd like to point out. First one is statistics. We all know how I love statistics, and if you don't know how much I love statistics, I don't, because I don't like statistics. They can be made to make anything sound any way you want them to. However, according to an Alexa survey, people prefer milky coffee to strong coffees. That's a 73.7% in favour of milky, as opposed to 26.3% in favour of strong. Now, why couldn't you have a strong milky coffee? Who knows? That wasn't an option. Why wasn't it an option? Who knows? I don't mind the Alexa questions. So that is very, very nearly it. Last piece of news. I've attempted to try and learn French away from Duolingo, which I still play, and also I'm doubling down with the French because I'm using my account and also Rory's. Rory, that's his second mention in this episode. So the word that I learned today, which Jasper will probably learn whilst he's doing French at school. He won't, but he is learning French at school. So, Jasper, there's your little acknowledgement. I know you're not going to listen to this episode, so I will be playing it in the car. And talking of car, chauffeur as opposed to chauffeur. Chauffeur is a reckless driver as opposed to a chauffeur, which is a driver, which is totally different to the French word for to drive. Who thought English was a complicated language, eh? So, Rory, third mention.
Coffee pot conversations.
As the episode says, 2.7 cafe culture, but not in Paris. It's about the cafe culture scene sort of around England, as well as delving a little bit outside of that, not necessarily picking up in France or in Paris, but I do try and pull it in, well, Nev does, as much as possible. And it was an interesting day for me, as well as for Nev. Let's start with the first interview with Lost Sheep Coffee, who are based down in Whitstable in Kent, down in the southeast of England. As Mike, the roaster, goes on to explain, he is called Mike and he's a roaster. Hello, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Mike. I'm the head roaster at Lost Sheep Coffee. We're a roastery based in Kent, Whitstable on the coast of Kent. We've been a company for 12 years, but we've been roasting for 7 years.
Lovely. So when you say roasting, you source the beans yourself?
Yeah, exactly. We source speciality beans from all over the world. We roast it in Whitstable, and we supply cafes in the local area. So that's our main trade, is supplying other cafes our coffee.
Lovely. And do you drink coffee yourself?
I do drink coffee, yeah. I drink not huge amounts. I normally drink 2 coffees a day. Normally just filter coffee, to be honest. I don't really drink a lot of milk, but I have to try all the coffee we make.
So what got you into roasting? Obviously, the coffee industry is vast and you've sort of chosen that side of things.
Yeah, when I left university like 15 years ago, I started working in cafes because I couldn't get a real job. But barista is a real job. But I was lucky enough to work in really good coffee shops early, and it just led me to like coffee and get into coffee. And from being a barista at Lost Sheep, that's where I established my barista career. I became the roaster.
Fabulous. So what, without giving too many trade secrets away, what is a roaster?
A roaster is someone who sources green beans but turns them brown, basically. So we have a Gießen roaster with software, Propster software, high-end stuff. But yeah, it's about getting coffee and roasting it in a certain way to make it taste in a certain way. So coffee is not just about the origin or what variety of Arabica it might be or how it's processed, but it's also how it's roasted. So you can't just roast it on one heat, you've got to change things. There's lots and lots of variables. And that's what makes every roaster different to each other. Excellent.
Nev, any questions at this stage?
Yeah, I was just wondering, so obviously the coffee industry is vast.
Yes.
One of the things that I'm really quite interested in about is what your perception or what you see around the coffee culture in the UK. Have you seen a change in it shifting to a certain direction? That sort of thing is what
a little bit, yeah. maybe the mention of Australian style coffee, they were the first country really to establish high quality cafe culture, like have it as a profession, to work as a barista as a quality job. And I think the coffee shops are getting better. That means better service, better made drinks, better coffee, roasted coffee. And I think the trickle down to bigger coffee shops in the past have been absolutely terrible, are getting better. And that's it with equipment as well. Grinders have got better, coffee machines have got better. And I think it's slowly getting there that even everyday cafes could have good coffee. And I think eventually we'll get there.
Brilliant, thank you.
No worries.
And have you ever been to Paris?
I have been to Paris, yeah. Only a few times. I'd like to go again soon.
Do you enjoy the coffee in Paris?
I like some of the coffee, yes. I find the culture wonderful but so Parisian. And it can be, I think traditionally it's like the cigarette, sit outside with an espresso kind of like thing. But I think it's changing with the younger scene. The younger people are bringing a bit more of a modern style twist on it, and I think that's good.
Yeah, you often see them in the cafes, sort of like people watching, don't you? All the cafes are more outward facing, so it's kind of that real slowing down, taking it in.
I think taking it in, and food as well. Like obviously,
massive.
Pastries there are incredible compared to the UK, where the food pairing is dreadful and expensive. Where actually you can have an affordable coffee and affordable accompaniment to that, like whether it's a pastry or something. And that's what works really well in like Paris or in the rest of Europe, to be honest, where UK is lacking that, and coffee is very expensive, and so are the cakes and the sandwiches and stuff. And I think that always will be the case, because just how expensive produce is and how things are run here. But it'd be nice to, take a little bit of that more laid-back culture for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
No worries.
Two more quick questions.
Yes.
One is, I can see that you've got cans of iced latte and mocha.
Yep.
Have you seen any change in that side of the industry, sort of hot to cold?
So this is only 10 weeks old for us, but cold coffees are on the rise in the UK. Already, we mentioned Australia, it was a big business. In America, it's huge. Cold brew in America is like the biggest selling drink, especially with the Gen Z, the younger generation. So for us, our cans are actually hot brewed specialty grade coffee. It's not instant like the big brands, but it's real coffee. But it's sweet, it's easy to drink, and it's just a nice alternative for a lot of people, and it's a good intro to coffee. If you're not a big coffee drinker, it's nice and easy to drink. But yeah, it's good all year round as well. It's not just a summer drink.
And my final question actually goes to Nev. Yep, you were talking to Mike about Paris, and you've been a few times. Have you noticed the shape of his glasses?
I did indeed. In Paris, one of the biggest fashion things at the moment is very round glasses, and we've been a few times. We keep noticing the round, and Paul decided he wanted round glasses. So yes.
I don't think I'll go back to square glasses anytime soon. It suits my face. The round, thank you.
And what a handsome face it is as well.
Oh, thank you very much.
And I won't edit that part out. So brilliant. Thank you, mate.
No worries.
You've been lovely.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. Thank you to Mike. Now, he did offer us a taste of their iced coffee. He asked if I wished to try the latte or the mocha, and I explained the fact that I've had two different types of mocha, so I wasn't too sure on which angle to take. But I do prefer latte when I drink coffee, so I had the iced latte. And I'm not going to lie, and I'm not just saying this because chances are he's listening. I'm actually saying this, I'm always honest and I'm always truthful. Some may say that's the same, but anyway, I'm always honest and always truthful. And honestly and truthfully, it was lush. It was a little bit sweeter than a regular latte. Obviously, it was colder because it was from a can. But oh my days, was it gorgeous. I can really see myself sipping some of that during my creative spells in the summer, which is a good time because that's when I'm in between seasons and I'm really working hard to get through the rest of the year. And chances are I'll also be having some during the winter because, well, why not? I will be ordering online from them very shortly at lostsheepcoffee.com. Next up was a lady that I'd actually met before the previous year, and she's from Newcastle. She runs a business alongside her husband. Now, not only do they do nice cakes? But she actually remembered me, which I'm always astounded when people remember me or recognise me. Even old school friends that I've not seen for 20 odd years, they go, "Oh, hi, Paul." I was like, "Wow, you remember me." I don't know why I feel that way, but I always do. And the fact she remembered that I actually gave her a badge or two last year, little things like that. Yeah, amazing. Now, I did say to her husband that I will be interviewing him next year because, it's only fair. Hello, who are you?
Hi, my name's Hannah and I'm from a company called Cake Stories.
And what do you do?
So my company makes handmade cakes that we sell out across the UK to coffee shops mainly. Coffee shops, hotels, other hospitality venues, and we supply them with delicious, chunky, colourful cakes that make their customers stop in their tracks.
Just want to say, looking at them, because others can't see what they look like, they look absolutely incredible. So they do look very delicious, very creative as well, I have to say, Hannah. They look so different. So they're very striking. I just want to point that out to our listeners, how lovely they really look, because I actually want to eat every single one. I'm not even a cake lover, but I really would.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, while we're talking about the cakes, who decides the height of each cake?
Oh, that's a very specific question. So I guess technically that's me. I design the cakes, I design the recipes, and decide what we are trying to achieve with them, I guess. So whether it's something that needs to be light and delicate, or something that's chunky and in your face, or something that's for a child, or for a bloke, to make a bloke feel really comfortable in a coffee shop. So we make big, chunky, manly cakes as well as pretty girly ones too. That's very un-PC of me, but we do a massive range of things.
My questions are bouncing all over the place. You're taking me on a journey already. So you're based whereabouts in the UK?
So we're based in Newcastle in the northeast, but we ship out across the whole UK. And we're loving getting to know people down here in London and all across the place.
So when you're walking around Newcastle, do you often see your cakes on display?
We do, and it's honestly the most humbling thing. It's amazing. And particularly for my baking team, they love it. They go to coffee shops on their days off, and if they see that our cakes are stocked there and they didn't know it, they get such a buzz, and their family love that as well. So yeah, it's really amazing, yeah.
Fabulous. And now for the sake of the podcast, let's hear the origin story.
Oh wow, the origin story, okay. So if you want me to go right back, my mum taught me to bake when I was a child. Then when I was a grown-up and living away from home, we began baking cakes for our family for special events. That grew into, we should really start a business. So we started making cakes for call centres, craft fairs, that sort of thing. Then we got into wedding cakes. And then honestly, my husband and I had always wanted to host a coffee shop that was open in the evening where people could get a glass of wine, not have to buy a meal. It was something we wanted when we were students and never had. So we decided actually Cake Stories and the cakes that we're making, that's our way in to making a unique coffee shop with its own kind of USP. So we started that 9 years ago, and then a couple of years in, other coffee shops in Newcastle started approaching us and asking, would you supply us, because we love your cakes. So that is where our wholesale branch kind of came from. And since then, that's become our focus. So we've actually sold that initial coffee shop now. We have a second one, which we love. We love keeping in touch with people and really serving real people. And we get to try out all our cakes on our customers as well before we send them out on wholesale. The last 2 or 3 years, we've really been going full guns on the national distribution, and we're loving that. So I guess that, in a nutshell, is how we got from craft stalls to where we are now.
So going with the fact that you are a maturing company,
yes,
you've obviously got to move with trends and developments.
Yeah,
vegetarianism, veganism.
Absolutely.
Are you coping with that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we take inspiration from trends around us. We're always looking at when it's time to create something new. Sometimes necessity is the mother of invention. And so, you look at a problem and you say, how can I create something to fill this gap? So I think we did that a few years ago with our vegan range. That's now really healthy. There's a lot of choice in that. The same with bakes that are made without gluten. But our rule with those things is that you should never be able to tell the difference. It should taste amazing, whatever dietary requirement it's fulfilling. So yeah, we try and keep on top of trends, like you say, but also we try and be conscious with what we're doing, that we're having a good impact on the world, not a negative one. So we've always tried not to use single-use plastic, so that as we get bigger and busier, we're not creating more and more problems for the world. So little things like that we try and put in place from the beginning. Yeah, and I guess we're all kind of aware of flavour trends that come and go. We're trying to be ahead of that or on the curve with that, and social media is great for keeping abreast of that, isn't it?
Thank you. Just a couple of things from me. I'm loving your badges.
Thanks.
Make cake, not war. How did that come about?
Do you know what? As a cake company, you don't get to shout very loud about things that matter.
Yeah.
But we were like, well, where we can, we want to do that. Like, so actually, Make Cake Not War was just something we kind of played around with, but we painted it on the wall at one of our coffee shops outside in the seating area, and it's been a big hit, and it's just become one of our phrases. It sums up what we're about, I guess. Like, we're about fun, we're about peace, we're about people and like joy and good things. So in the small connections with people, like, we want to make cake not war, but also I guess we're having a bit of a response to what's going on in the world as well.
Oh, I'm loving that, and I absolutely love your no more beige slogan as well. I think that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Because your cakes are by no means beige.
Well, this is it. Like, life shouldn't be beige.
No, they really are not. They're amazing.
Yeah.
Just a couple of things that we've been asking people is something I'm quite interested in is the cafe culture.
Yeah.
So in the UK we have a very different culture, so it's interesting to see what you're saying about the cake. So obviously the podcast's a little bit about Paris, but in Paris the culture is very different.
Yeah.
So what's your perception? How do you see the culture changing in the UK?
So actually my husband and I love the continental cafe scene, particularly Paris. So we've spent many evenings sitting on street corners outside a coffee shop, drinking an Americano or an allongé, and loving it. And that was the inspiration.
Yeah, it is us. Exactly what we do. And people watching. It's
Perfect
like the best
date
thing
night.
ever. Yeah, I know.
So that was genuinely the inspiration behind our first coffee shop being open late into the night.
Yeah.
We were like, why do we not do this in the UK?
Yeah.
But more and more we're speaking to coffee shop owners now who are looking to do a similar thing, so that's exciting. I'm really excited for that. But I think in the UK we do have a different relationship with coffee. We sit down and spend time over it, we savour it, we kind of indulge in cake while we do that, less so kind of running in, grabbing an espresso and getting on with the day. But you know, I guess in the more metropolitan cities, like, we get more of a mix of that, and we're learning other ways. We're learning how Europe do it.
Yeah, we are, and you can totally see it is shifting. Actually, you're shifting from a working culture with coffee, or it's very like leisurely, taking your time, sitting and eating cake kind of experience. But I would love some more coffee shops that open later into the night. I really would, because I think that it would be so good.
Me too.
Because what else is there to do? You want to do something a little bit different. So I do like the idea of that. Dessert nights are always a winner, aren't they?
Absolutely, I totally agree, obviously.
So my other question was, have you been to Paris? And the answer is obviously yes, you have.
Paris is genuinely one of my favourite cities in the
world.
world.
Fantastic.
Paris and New York, I'm in love with Paris. When I haven't been for a couple of years, like right now, I've got pangs to get my next visit booked in. I just love being there.
That's fabulous. Yeah, we can't wait to go again as well. So hopefully we might see you there.
Lovely.
Thank you so much.
Two more quick questions, sorry.
Go for it.
Back to Paris. So what's your favourite arrondissement? Or favourite landmark or coffee shop? We'll take any of those.
I love Montmartre. I absolutely love being around I love the combination of Pigalle that meets the kind of Sacré-Cœur area. I love Rue des Martyrs, all the foodie places, the coffee shops. There's a great coffee shop at the top of that street, love that. They're my favourites, but obviously you've got to love, like, being around the river as well is beautiful, isn't it? And the Latin Quarter is amazing.
And my final question, when you're sitting in a Parisian cafe, having a coffee, firstly, which coffee would you have? We'll call it mid-afternoonish.
So it totally depends on which coffee shop I'm in. If I'm in an authentic Parisian coffee shop, then I'd have an allongé. If I'm in a kind of trendy Australian influenced coffee shop, then it's an oat milk flat white for me. But honestly, if I'm in Paris, I'm drinking wine.
And final question.
Yeah.
When they give you the little biscuit, what do you do with it?
I mean, I dunk it, obviously.
And is that one hit, or do you buy it and then dunk it?
I'm sure I take at least 3 bites.
As we all do. But no, thank you. It's lovely seeing you again.
Thank you. It's been really nice to see you guys again.
No problem. Best of luck with the business. Oh, before we go, where can we find you?
So we're physically based in Newcastle in the northeast, but you can find us online. Our website is cakestories.com, and on socials we are at Cake Stories Bakes.
Fabulous. Thank you very much for your time,
Thanks
Hannah.
so much. Thank you.
Now, I'm actually hoping that the chap I spoke to off mic was her husband. If not, sorry, husband, but I'm going to talk to the man that was at the stand. Now, if any listeners out there do want to order through cakestories.com, feel free. And once you've received your package, so to speak, please drop them a line, let them know where you heard about them. Hopefully it was through me. If not, let me know how you heard of them. 2.7 at An Englishman in Paris.blog. So very quickly, because we've got 2 more interviews to take place, myself and Nev went to the Caffè Culture Expo and we walked in the ground floor, had a quick little look around after we'd gone to the toilet to freshen up. And then we went upstairs and had another look around and, okay. So we popped downstairs because now it's time for coffee. So we walked up to Wood Street Coffee Roasters and they'd already brewed from their Dalla Corte coffee machine a nice brew for us, which, because it's Wood Street Coffee Roasters and that's round the corner from where I used to live, sort of, we'll try it. Why not try it? So we tried some. And as we're about to leave, I then clocked this chap in a bright yellow T-shirt right next door to them. And it was Dave from Miss Tita, Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee. So I said to Nev, Blue Mountain Coffee, best in the world. She looked at me like I was starting over mad. So we had a sip. It's like, So upon arrival to the Caffè Culture Show, you have to have your little ID badge printed out, and so it says your name, which my name is, and then it says your job title, which I put podcast host, and then it says the name of the business, which on this occasion is An Englishman in Paris because of my blog site. But next year I will be changing it to the name of the podcast show because, hey, I'm there for the podcasts. So this chap, Dave from Miss Tita of Jamaica Blue Mountain, said, oh, what's happening? What do you do? So I explained what I do. I said, we've got a lecture upstairs that we want to listen to at 11:30. But afterwards, we'll come down if you've got time to have a chat. And he said, I'd love to. Great. I'll fill you in the details afterwards. We've then gone back down at the end of the day, just as they're tidying up, to have a chat. And what you hear is our coffee pot conversation. Hello, and who are you?
Yeah, I'm Dave. I'm Dave Daniels from Small Farmers Coffee, trading as Miss Tita Coffee.
And what do you do?
So I'm a farmer, I'm based in Jamaica and I'm based in the UK. We are a group of 27 small farmers from the Blue Mountain region of Jamaica, where I am a licensed dealer and importer of Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee. So we ship the green coffee here in the UK. We roast, pack and distribute. So when I'm here, I roast and do the full shebang.
And when you're in Jamaica, what do you do?
I'm on the farm. I'm in the Blue Mountain.
You're working hard.
Working hard, yes.
Absolutely. So what got you involved in coffee?
Wow, coffee. I was born in coffee, from my parents, grandparents, going back. We are coffee farmers. So my grandmother, Miss Tita, she's the one who, from a young kid, used to take me with her on the farm and, from there developed my love and passion for coffee. But as a youngster in Jamaica, I have to also roast and process coffee. Because my dad used to sell coffee to tourists in Jamaica, so it kind of gave me a broad experience in the coffee, yes.
So you could have either gone into coffee or, I'm guessing, rum.
Yes, but
you took the lesser of the two evils.
Yeah. I don't have the palate for rum. It's a good rum, but I don't have the palate for it. So, and coffee is always a safe space for me.
Have you thought about combining the two?
Definitely, most definitely. We've been talking to a few people regarding a liqueur or something down that line, nice. But I think it will be in future times.
I'll keep my eyes open for that. You farm the coffee beans, and then what do you personally do with them?
So I've got a farm in Jamaica, and a small holding farm. So when I'm not here, my mom, my sisters, my aunties, they all chip in, they all help, they all support. So what we do, it works in Jamaica, first and foremost, you can be a farmer, but being a farmer, you farm and you sell the coffee to a dealer. So what I do, I get a group of farmers together and get our dealership license and our export license. So that enables us to be able to ship our own coffee. So farming the coffee, harvesting the coffee, pulp, dry, store so they get aged, and then we send it to the authority. And the authority in Jamaica is the one that ship the coffee under our license. So the moment we give it to the authority, we do not see the coffee until it reaches the destination.
I'm not a coffee drinker. But I knew from, 20, 25 years back that Blue Mountain, in my opinion, from what I've been told, is categorically the best coffee in the world. Is that true?
So for me, Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee is one of the world's best single origin. To some people, it is the best. To others, it's all about your palate, But I can assure you, Blue Mountain coffee is quality. It's well balanced, smooth and mellow. And really, you don't really get a much better single origin than the Blue Mountain. But it's optional.
So it's the best.
Well, you can say that.
What do you think makes it so good?
So I believe it's a combination of many things, not just one thing. I believe the Arabica typica plant that we grow in Jamaica is a superior plant. I also believe that our climatical condition in the Blue Mountain region of Jamaica is very unique. Our soil rich volcanic soil, high altitude, and also the harvesting. Every single bean is picked by hand every day at the peak of ripeness, processed, dry, sun-dry and aged. And the combination of those things plus the authority who oversee the quality of the coffee. If the coffee don't meet the quality, it rejected. That's it, it's finished. So everything is all about making it the best coffee that you can produce.
Nev, any questions?
For me, I'm really interested in the cafe culture.
Sure.
So in the UK, we have a very different kind of take on the way we approach our coffee. So I've been asking this question to quite a lot of people, actually. What do you think is, or how do you see the cafe culture in the UK? Have you seen it change in the time that you've been distributing the coffee?
Yeah, personally, I would say yes. I would say, since COVID, I believe people have developed a taste for quality.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that spending time at home, start to experiment with coffee, tasting different coffee. I think people have time to enjoy coffee, and I think there's a change in terms of people want more quality. People investing in machines, beans to cup instead of instant, and I think there's a big change towards quality and enjoying good coffee here now.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. You can see a massive change. I think we used to be a tea country, but I do think we've moved, and coffee is our thing at the moment, and I can see that moving in. We've got lots of different spaces as well with the way our relationship with coffee. You're absolutely right. I think that too. After COVID, or during COVID, we decided to make coffee at home. We were making everything at home at that point, but then with the coffee machines, and obviously distributions have to change. You've had to keep up with making like Nespresso pods, haven't you, in order to meet up the demands of coffee.
Yeah, definitely. And so I'll go back a little bit as well. I also noticed young people.
Yeah.
Young people who I was like, are you drinking coffee? And I'm like, yeah. So young people, they then iced coffee, and then get into coffee. But yeah, I believe that so many machines out there, people have so many choices, and I guess you got to really try and provide
I think
for
so.
everybody, and give everybody the opportunity to enjoy quality coffee.
Yeah, I agree with the iced coffee. There is a massive increase in that kind of with the Gen Z population as well with iced coffee. It's a big thing. I don't like iced coffee. I just want my coffee. I don't want anything else. I'm really happy with the way it is. But yeah, so I can see that. And in other countries, there's a more relaxed approach to coffee. But I do think we're getting there. I think we're moving in that space a little bit more where people are taking their time with coffee and using more sociably.
100% agree, honestly. 100% agree. As I said, the coffee culture here, it's been going from strength to strength in people enjoying coffee, want quality coffee, not just accepting anything. They want, they really, and also educating themselves more about coffee.
Yeah.
And that which is very important. People are so conscious about where the coffees come from, how it's being produced, and they also like to know that those who produce in the coffee is being treated well and looked after. So the culture from all aspects is really developing well.
Yeah,
it's going in the right direction.
I think so too, particularly the ethical sourcing.
Definitely.
People do want to know more about where things are coming from. So as a consumer, we do make very conscious decisions about where we buy our coffee and things like that. You can actually see that now, so I
Very
completely
positive,
agree.
yeah. I agree.
Good direction. Thank you. And I have tried the coffee, just let everybody know, it was delicious.
Thank you very much.
It was a really good cup of coffee.
Thank you very much. 100% Jamaica Blue Mountain. Thank you.
A few more finishing questions. I noticed you got coffee bags. What brought that decision about?
So, I've been going around all over UK, and I must say, people do sometimes like a good quality coffee on the go. My personal belief is that when you're at home, you brew, you use a cafetiere, use a machine, fine. But if you're out and about and you enjoy coffee and you want a good coffee, the coffee bag offer that alternative to have something quality on the go.
I have to say, I do use coffee bags, and I've only ever found one actually that I've sort of seen, because it's a relatively new thing. And the reason why I love them so much is when we actually go away and we go abroad, I have to take my coffee with me because I am really fussy, and I just don't. So to find a really good quality bag of coffee is not easy at the moment. So I might try yours, because I've only ever found one company, and as much as it's good, it's not quite there. But I agree, sometimes I need that coffee to go, but I take it with me.
So definitely, I'm confident with the coffee that we produce and the quality of the coffee that we use in our bag. It might be a bit more expensive than some of the others, because I believe one of the truth about coffee, what you put in is what you get out.
I totally agree.
So if you want to pay for quality, you will get quality, and if you just want to pay for anything, you will get anything. But for example, our Jamaica Blue Mountain brew bags, they are exceptionally well, exceptionally well good. And even when I'm selling those to people, I tell them it's a treat. It's still not to replace the everyday coffee bag. It's a treat coffee bag. However, our signature blend that we put in coffee bag as well, it's also a good everyday bag, coffee bags too. We have a dark roast, and we have two medium. One is very complex, one is very smooth and mellow. And I'm very confident that the quality of it is very nice.
I will be getting those bags.
Thank you.
Which leads me on to the question, how can we buy your products in the UK?
So we're mainly online, we should be on all of the e-commerce platform out there. Our website is one of the main places to get us, which is www.misstita.com. And reach out to us. You can enjoy fantastic coffee.
Fabulous. Now, my final question is, when you go to a coffee shop and they give you a cup of coffee and they give you that biscuit on the side, what do you do with it?
I'm the type of guy who will dip the biscuit in the coffee,
Now, I asked my eldest son this last night, and he said the same. Now, I want to know, how many times do you dunk it?
So, I'll be honest with you. I like a certain consistency. So, I will put it in there a little and taste. And if it's not as smooth as I like it, I'll leave it, I'll put it next time for a bit longer. But I'll dip it inside.
So sort of 2 mouthfuls and it's gone?
Something like that.
Okay. It's one more than me, but fair enough. That's lovely.
And I've been told that ginger biscuit and coffee go really well together.
Yes, definitely. I completely agree with that. I love a ginger biscuit, but I would agree. I prefer that to the other ones you sort of get on the side.
There we go.
Ginger biscuit is good.
Yes.
Okay, here's a question for the pair of you then. The Jamaica cake? Jamaican ginger cake.
So, guys, honestly, I love Jamaica rum cake. Have you ever tried a Jamaica rum cake?
I have never tried that.
Man, that's a different experience.
Yeah,
that is a different experience. The Jamaica rum cake is something special. Matter of fact, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I like it with cheese.
Oh, that sounds interesting. I could go with that. I think I'd give that a go.
So I don't eat cheese. So the rum and cake sounds good for me.
So, the rum cake is beautiful.
I'll have to look out for that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well done.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. You've been an absolute pleasure to talk to. All the best for safe journeys home.
Thank you very much. Most appreciated.
No problem at all.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you very much, guys. No, thank you very much, man. Thanks for coming back and have a chat with us. I really appreciate it.
A huge thanks to Dave from Miss Tita, Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee. You can find their goods for sale at mistita.com, mstita.com. And don't tell Nev, but I will probably be buying her some coffee bags for Christmas. So back to our story for the day, and Nev and myself went upstairs to listen to the Cafe Insights talk by John Richardson, who is actually a respected cafe and coffee shop expert, author and consultant. So we listened to him talking about the flat white for a fiver, and it was actually an interesting talk, one of the most interesting talks I've been to this year, that's for sure. Walking around and we're seeing all the different stands and the exhibitors. Nev said to me, isn't it strange how the small independent people, the little guys, are offering you samples and engaging conversation and I suppose drumming up trade or at least interest? I said, yeah. He said, but all the big people are doing nothing. They're just standing back sort of expecting you to approach them. I said, okay, watch this. So I've walked straight up to this stand right at the front of the top floor, and it's a company called Dalla Corte, and they have all these coffee machines to the side, and to the very, very left is a company called Volcano Coffee. Now, I was chatting to the chap along with Nev. She was asking questions. I said to her, you know what, I really wish I'd recorded that. I obviously said that afterwards. So I've then seen all these coffee machines, and everywhere you were looking around, it was Dalla Corte, and it turns out that this company have supplied all the machines for the show, apart from obviously those that are trying to set with their own machines. As I'm chatting with Nev, and she's sipping this coffee from Volcano Coffee, which she did enjoy, I've caught the eye of a chap who's, I think, adjusting his glasses, and he's walked over and said, oh, so, hello, what do you do? So I said, oh, I'm wearing my branded jumpers. I said, Paul Englishman in Paris. I've got a podcast called Coffee Pot Conversations. I'm just here to, have a chat with people. It's, a 5-10 minute chat just to see what's going on. He said, oh, well, you need to talk to our marketing man then. Oh, okay. So he's walked me over to this chap. He's asking me questions. Well, what sort of thing would you ask? And I said, oh, just general questions about people and sort of about the industry and the culture. So he said to me, would you like to talk to, and he's mentioned this name, and it turns out that Valentina Dalla Corte is quite a big deal. I was taken aback. And at this point, my confidence zoomed through the roof. My nerves were dripping from the ceiling. But it's like, yeah, okay, I can do this. I honestly wasn't saying that. Never was saying, you can do this. You've had conversations before. You've done interviews. And I have. But that's when I've known what I'm talking about. I've researched the people that I was going to talk to. I've seen them on Instagram. I know very little about Dalla Corte coffee machines. I did a quick scan on the interweb and found a few little bits and pieces. But anyway, this is the result. So this was actually the third interview of the day, and I've placed it last because really it's such a big moment for me talking to a big person within the industry. So I hope you get out of this as much as I did. And, well, here we are. Hello, and who are you?
So I'm Valentina Dalla Corte from Dalla Corte Company and Dalla Corte family, as you prefer. I'm responsible for the commercial excellence. That it means that I'm trying to coordinate the marketing, the product and the after-sales support. And I'm also very near to the market in terms of sales. I was responsible for Spanish market for 10 years. And now I'm back from 2019 in Milan to the company. So fully involved with the development and the growth of the company.
Okay, so first question, how did you find the difference between Spain and Italy, just as a regular person?
Okay, I really like my experience in Spain. What they said about the relaxing mood, maybe, it's
Mañana,
right.
mañana, yeah.
In respect to Milan, that it's a bit more stressful city, but I can imagine that London can be same. And in terms of coffee, I have an international experience. I love to go, and I'm lucky because through the company, I have the opportunity to see coffee consumption all over the world, so it's very different and very interesting.
So for people that don't know anything about the company, what can you tell us? What is it that the company does?
So the company is basically we have my father, born because my father had the dream to create a tool, the perfect tool to extract the better espresso. So to take the best of each kind of coffee, of the different coffee, and create the perfect cup, but not the perfect cup in general, the perfect cup you prefer. So to have all the feature to set up the cup that you like. I'm the third generation of the Dalla Corte family. My grandfather started in 1950, and my father too. They born as technicians before, and then starting as engineer. And Dalla Corte was born in 2001 with this vision to create the perfect tool for the perfect espresso.
What makes a perfect espresso? Oh, firstly, let me ask you, is it espresso or espresso? Because there's always argument. Sorry, say it one more time. Espresso. So what makes a good espresso? What makes a perfect espresso?
It depends. It depends on the culture, and it depends on not just the culture. It depends on you. I like, for example, a cup of coffee that is balanced, sweet, but in some people can love more acid profile, someone more bitter. I'd like to say that it's not a question of judge the tasting. Everything is fine if you like, but if you have a machine that can take the best of your coffee, so you can play a lot of with flavor, with everything for the cup.
So once you've sort of made the machine, to make sure the machine is working,
we have for technical parts, we have a process of production that foreseen a test for each machine. So each machine needs to pass security controls, quality controls, all the standard that we need to comply. Then with testing with coffee, we work with all the engineers, with the coffee specialists, with all the knowledge of the community that we have around, with also the tools that we have at disposal to create the machine that we know that it's right. Then we can also play with our technology. So we have the temperature regulation, the flow of regulation, which is the main, the main milestone of our technology. We were the first company to offer the independent grouphead in the machine. So to create really to adapt the temperature for each coffee. Then we start with the flow profile. Flow profile, it means to regulate the flow of the water coming out from the machine. So all different tools to adapt the extraction. Then we are one of the machines that can offer the different diameter, which is other option that you have if you want to use different recipe. You can adapt 54 or 58 diameter of portafilter. So we can play. We love to play with the extraction, with coffee. It's a passion.
And do you sample what comes off? Or you're buzzing throughout the day on all the caffeine? Every time you try it, it's like, that's good.
I usually drink. And when it's too much...
One quick question, I'm going to pass you on to Nev. Is it true that Italians don't have cappuccinos after lunch?
Yes, it's true.
I told you.
It's true.
Okay, she wins. I'll pass you on to Nev.
Thank you so much. That was really interesting. I guess the things that you're talking about, the machine, is what makes it so unique, is the versatility of your machines to adapt to get that perfect coffee. So that's really interesting to hear about the functionalities of the machines. But for me, what I'm really interested in is the culture of coffee. So in the UK, you can see a very big difference between Milan, Spain. Here, the way we approach our kind of coffee culture and the way we take coffee. So we either sit in a coffee shop. At the moment, we're moving to very much hybrid working. So people often go to coffee shop, take their laptops, and that relaxed feel isn't as clear, I think. But we are moving towards it. So I just wanted to know your view. What is your perception of the culture of coffee here?
Yeah, as I told, every culture have different use. For example, in Italy, you can feel surprised because in Italy it's just go in the coffee shop, take a shot and goodbye and out. So it's very quick culture. In Spain, because I've been there 10 years, so I know that it's more, the culture is different because they drink a lot of with milk. The 80% of the beverages with milk. and it's social. So
Yeah.
you sit down and enjoy the coffee. It's not a shot of caffeine as sometimes is in Italy. I really new for UK market, so I would like to know more to understand how the coffee culture is here.
Yeah. Well, from the conversations we've had, there's a kind of a mixed feel about it. Either it's that independent coffee shops are definitely on the rise, looking at very specialty coffee.
Yeah.
The machines are just a tool to be able to give them that, and they obviously want versatility, because the more versatile your machines are, the more likely you are to be able to use different coffee and produce far easily. So you've got people who will sit and, as I said, like use it as working spaces are on the increase. But then you've also got these lovely little coffee shops that are opening up that are more alfresco style now. Not that we can have a lot of alfresco in the UK, but we are taking more of a relaxed approach to coffee. A few years ago, there was a wave of sort of takeaway coffees everywhere, but I think that stops a little bit at the moment.
Okay.
That could just be our style of working has changed. So it's nice to see that we're taking a far more pleasurable approach to coffee. I mean, I'm a coffee drinker, he's a tea drinker. So, for me, coffee's everything. Him not so much, but for me, a good cup of coffee is like the best thing for me ever. Yeah. So it's interesting.
It depends also on, for me, I talk about all myself because I think that I am the perfect customer. So I think me as a customer. So in the morning, maybe I need the coffee to wake up.
Absolutely.
Just to understand where I am.
Yeah.
But then in the afternoon, maybe on Saturday, I would like to share enjoyable moments with my friend. Yeah. So it depends on the moment. I also like filter coffee. I love filter coffee. So
me too.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, me too. We were talking about that earlier. Yeah, me too.
It depends on the moment and on. I know that in general after COVID, the use the culture is changing.
Very much so.
So where takeaway is not very common now, it's more common. It's changing a bit.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's interesting to see where we're going to go with it in the next 5 years, actually, especially in the UK. Yeah, very much so.
To discover.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you.
Okay, I just have 3 quick questions for you, if that's all right. Put you on the spot now. This is before I get carried away. The first one is, firstly, your English is amazing. Where or when did you learn that? Was it something at school or something you sort of consciously took on?
It's at school. I believe that I speak Italian and Spanish perfect, but my English can improve. It's very much space for improvement. Just school.
No, it's honestly, it's very, very good. Secondly, have you seen Emily in Paris?
Yeah.
Have you seen the latest episodes? Because they've taken it into Italy now. So,
She's now in Rome.
yeah, we're on that cliffhanger moment.
I don't see the last season.
Oh, you need to catch up. And final question, when you are out and about, wherever you are, and you have a coffee, and they give you a little biscuit, what do you do with it? And be honest.
Be honest. I usually have it.
Do you dunk it or just...
No.
No?
Just before or after.
Okay.
But if it's at the end of lunch, I prefer to leave it. But if it's maybe 11 o'clock or 3 p.m., it can be there.
When you say leave it, do you mean leave it in your handbag? Or you leave it on the...
No, I leave it.
Oh, that's very sweet of you.
Yeah.
Okay. Lovely. No, that's all my questions, I'm afraid. I told you it was all personal stuff.
Totally honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, okay. Last final question.
Okay.
The Parisians, they dunk their croissants in coffee. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that? Also, I used to work with a couple of people who used to dunk toast in their coffee.
No, I prefer to have my coffee.
Coffee is coffee, absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
My coffee.
No, excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time. Before we do go, how can people find out more about the company?
Okay, we have our website. We have a distributor network. So in UK, we have Thomas here that maybe can help to answer the question.
On dallacorte.com, submit a contact us form and we'll be in touch.
Brilliant.
There's a beautiful showroom here.
St Albans, yeah, we've got a beautiful showroom in St Albans. Social media, dallacorte.uk, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere, basically everywhere.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Coffee Pot Conversations.
I'd like to thank Mike from Lost Sheep Coffee, Hannah from Cake Stories, Dave from Tita, Thomas Hall, and Valentina, Dalla Corte. I'd also like to thank Nev for dinner afterwards. We went to Le Petit Auberge in Islington, where I had soupe bolognon et confit de canard. So if Marina is listening, yes, it was the same. And moving swiftly on, because I'm running out of time, it's a little dedication to my mum, whose birthday it was t'other day.
Des yeux qui font baisser les miens, un rire qui se perd sur sa bouche, voilà le portrait sans retouche de l'homme auquel j'appartiens. Quand il me prend dans ses bras, qu'il me parle tout bas, je vois la vie en rose. Il me dit des mots d'amour, des mots de tous les jours, que ça me fait quelque chose. Il est entré dans mon cœur une part de bonheur dont je connais la cause. C'est lui pour moi, moi pour lui dans la vie. Il me l'a dit, l'a juré pour la vie. Et dès que je l'aperçois, alors je sens dans moi mon cœur qui bat. Des nuits d'amour à plus finir, un grand bonheur qui prend sa place, des ennuis, des chagrins s'effacent, heureux, heureux, à en mourir. Quand il me prend dans ses bras, qu'il me parle tout bas, je vois la vie en rose. Il me dit des mots d'amour, des mots de tous les jours, et ça me fait quelque chose. Il est entré dans mon cœur une part de bonheur dont je connais la cause. C'est toi pour moi, moi pour toi dans la vie. Tu me l'as dit, m'as juré pour la vie. Dès que je t'aperçois, alors je sens dans moi mon cœur qui bat.
That was La Vie en Rose by Edith Piaf. Now it's time for Jasper's Jingle.
Coming up on Coffee Pot Conversations.
I have absolutely no idea. All I do know is episode 2.10 will be the best bit. So send in your best bits from season 2 or season 1. 2.10 at anenglishmaninparis.blog. I've now got about a minute and a half left until I reach that pinnacle of an hour, which is probably way too long for an episode. However, yep, I don't know what's going to happen over the next 2 episodes. I've still got to work all that out. It may be previous stuff that I either find and dig out or I re-record. In the interim, in the meantime, at any point, email me badge 2.7 at anenglishmaninparis.blog and we'll have a little bit of communication and you'll send me your address and I will send you a badge. How about that, listeners? And final, any music requests relating to Paris, request at anenglishmaninparis.blog. Thank you.
Coffee Pot Conversations.